everybody, welcome back to another episode of No Limits 2. Now this is going to be a tutorial, not a coaster review, just so you guys don't get that mixed up. We are going to be doing a little bit of a tutorial on the effect set by 3D Creative. It's a really nice light effect set. I really enjoy this. You know, it's the only light effect set that you don't have to, do many things with it in order to, to be able to use it. Like, there's so many different, lighting sets. Well, they're not very many, but there's quite a few. And mostly all of them, you have to, go into, your main files. And, you got to extract the files. Put them in your park coaster, which that's just a hassle. And if you don't know what you're doing, it can be really difficult and, really confusing. So this is the only pack that I know of that, you don't have to do very much of anything. You can just extract it by in-game and just use it as your heart desires. And it was very, very confusing to me at first. It took me a good long time to figure out, how everything works. And, you guys are probably confused on that as well. So I thought I'd go ahead and, go into a little bit of detail with that. Give you guys a proper tutorial because there's not one like this. Well, there is one, but, it's, just a whole bunch of music. It doesn't go into detail, explain everything. This is what you need to do and whatnot. So I thought I'd go ahead and do that for you guys. So what do you need to do? So first things first, you need to go into the park itself. I'm going to go ahead and do that now for you guys. You need to go into this park here, and you need to extract the file, which I'll show you guys how to do that. I'll show you, what you need to do when it comes to that. Waiting for this part to load real quick. Didn't actually take too long. That's actually quite quick. Now don't worry about this. This could be confusing, but I'm going to go into detail about all this. This, pretty much says, this is, how, basically instructions on how you, do this and everything. The one thing that I have not figured out how to do, and I've read through this, it does not tell you. The one thing it does not show you how to do is how to, get in here and actually customize your own, light patterns and, your own colors. I have not figured out how to get that screen to pop up. If you guys know, please leave a comment below. Help everybody out. So, these are the lights that you have. You even have these tussles, which I'll show you guys here in a little bit. This is probably going to be a multi-part tutorial here because there is so much and it goes into so much detail here. But this is pretty much what you have. Let's walk through here. This is, all that you have when it comes to lighting. You can make it look really cool. Obviously, you do have strobe and everything like that. So, if you're creative like I have took the strobe option, which you can set individual triggers for it and make it into like a camera flash. And that's very, it's not too difficult to do. I could probably show you that if you guys want me to. You can just be creative with this. Put this where you think it would be nice to go. And, the first thing I'm going to go start with is these little lights over here, the LED power lights. I believe that's what they're called. It'll move with the spotlights and this laser here pretty shortly. That'll probably, like I said, it's going to be a multi-part series, so just gotta stay tuned for that. But I'm going to teach you, how, triggered lights work, how the strobe lights are going to work, and all that stuff. So let's go ahead and do that now. So what you need to do first is you need to go into the editor here. And I'm not going to do this because I already have a file saved. But what you need to do is you need to go in here and extract the files. Extract it to what you like. I already have it made to your effects set. You can name it whatever you want. Just obviously you cannot name it the same thing, of the same name. Like you cannot name this effect set, you know, like effect set twice. You can't do that. It doesn't allow you to do that. It just in fact, this is what I have it named, so I can show you that. See, it says the folder already exists, so you have to choose a non-existing folder. So you cannot do that. But I'm not going to go do that now because I already have, a file saved. So I'm going to go ahead and try to see if I can get a park open here. Let me see here. That's weird. It's showing everything from my desktop. That's weird. Okay, that's kind of awkward. Okay, so this is the FX set. You got your constructions, which is the tusk, or whatever you want to call it, or those silver beams, which look pretty cool. I will show you that, probably in later episodes or something like that. I don't know. It just depends. We got the LED power. You got the mover head and laser, which you guys have seen. I don't know what DOB OS is. I have no idea what that is. That doesn't show up in the main file, so don't ask me. But, what am I doing? Let's see if we can get a park open here. Let me see here. Let's see if we can find a good park that, Let's go to the Rampage. Might as well. It's a really, really good coaster. I've not shown you this, guys, yet, but I will eventually. Waiting for this coaster to load in. Alright, guys, so as you guys can see, the coaster has loaded in. Let's go into perspective real quick. So, this is the Rampage. I don't believe I showcased this yet. It's a really cool coaster. Now, this is supposed to be a representative of the Voyage and what is that? The Legend, I'm sorry. The Voyage and the Legend from Holiday World Splashing Safari. Obviously, you guys can tell these are not the trains that they use. If you ever been to Holiday World, these are not the trains they use, so I usually changed it. I have another file saved this, and I changed it to the regular 4-seat wooden coasters, which is the most realistic because that's where they come from. I don't really like these. I think they look kind of stupid, but that's just my opinion. Anyways, that's not what we're here for. Let's go ahead and showcase these lights. Now, everything I'm going to need is in the scenery tab, and as you guys can tell, we need to extract the file, because if we don't, we'll never be able to work on this. So, let's go ahead and do that now. Let's just name it RAM. Might as well. It's not naming anything else, so let's go ahead and do that now. So I think this episode, what I'm going to do, because this takes some time, it is so detailed, I can spend hours literally discussing everything. So I do have to shorten this, unfortunately. What I'm going to do is I'm going to show you the strobe effect as well as, the light effect, how you get, lighting goes from, how to turn on lighting and turn off lighting and stuff like that. You can switch to different colors, and I'll show you how to do that here pretty shortly. So, this is a perfect tunnel. I think, it's pretty long tunnel. Look at this. Of course, this is representative of the Legend, and this tunnel is actually realistic. This is actually a realistic hill design from the Legend, which I think is just pretty awesome. That's just my opinion. But let's go ahead and move on with, the files. So what you want to do is you want to go to home and find the name that you saved your effect set at. Mine is just said effect set, but you just whatever you named it, you gotta go search and find it. I mean, I have enough files as I do. That can be difficult, but you just gotta figure out what you're doing. So what do we do? So we have to select the LED power light, which this is basically saying the path may not be found unless a part package is created, blah blah blah. To say yes, this has never been an effect for me. I've never had any issues with that, so just don't worry about that. Alright, so here is the really, sucky part about this. So you have to go through and put lights through this entire tunnel, which takes some time, and it takes a very, very long time to do. So I'm going to go ahead and do that real quickly, and when I get back, all this should be lit up. Alright guys, so I went ahead and put some lights up on this tunnel. This took so long, it took me about 5 to 10 minutes to put all these lights up because some of them don't like to act right. Like, some of them will just spawn like 2 to 3 miles away. I lost 2 lights. I have no idea where they went. So we may have some lights going on here. I don't know. That's bad. I don't know where they went. Honestly, could not tell you what the hell happened to those. Hopefully they're just underground someplace. That's what I'm hoping. I'm not seeing them anywhere whatsoever. I lost those lights. I can't find them where the hell. I have no idea. But let's go ahead and move on with the show, shall we? So, as you guys can see, I, try to space these lights out as much as I can to make them look, really cool and get a really cool strobe effect from this. So, because of the strobe effect. So, in order to activate all these strobe effects, you have to choose. You have to have these triggers placed. Which this is a lot simpler than, the triggers in game, I think, in my opinion. They're a lot easier to deal with. Alright, that looks good. Let me just go place another one over here. I'll explain to you what I'm doing here in just a second. I gotta sort of concentrate what I'm doing here and make sure I am doing this right. Last thing I want to do is to mess everything up. I'm glad I didn't spawn 2 miles away. You never know with this game. It can be stupid sometimes. Let's center this as much as we can here. Alright, so these triggers for the strobe effect, you really don't have to do anything with it. You can just place 2 triggers. And I'll explain what we do with these in just a second. So, let's go at the end here. Well, I guess it really doesn't matter. So, this is going to be strobe. No. Let's just put hill. You can name it whatever you want. It just, works for me. So what you want to do is click on each and every one of these lights and type in strobe / hill. Now I always press enter to make sure it saves, but I don't think you really have to. And you just go through, name every one of these lights Strobe Hill. So now you gotta make sure there's a slash in it. Oh, I was messed up, as you guys can see. Just going through naming each and every one of these. Strobe Hill. Or whatever you named it. You know, whether you name it Lift or something like that, that's what you go by. Well, it's strobe slash whatever you name it. So, I just try to make sure you guys understand this because, believe me, this was confusing when I did it. And last but not least, for this trigger, you press Hill off. And when it comes to the strobe effect, you are done. Now, it doesn't seem like you have done much. And to really test that you did something is you go into the park here and you play the park. Okay, you will get something showed like that. Hopefully, it didn't do anything wrong. Now, let's hopefully this worked. Because it's not saying that it's showing up. I don't know why it's not. Maybe this is broken. I have no idea. Let's hope this works. Okay, so as you guys can see, it didn't work. What the fuck? Okay. I don't know if I can actually fix this or not. Okay, so worst case scenario, let's see if we can actually do this again. As you guys can see, it doesn't want to cooperate with me. There we go. Get this a little closer here. Alright, 1 second here, guys. Let me see if I can fix this real quick. I'm just gonna make it, maybe it's too low. I don't know. I don't know what's going on here. I'm like, going through this and seeing because you guys may have had difficulties with this, so If you're having the same problem that I am, then maybe you would like to know how to fix it. So that's why I'm going through this. See, this work now. Okay, it worked this time. So, I'm assuming... I told you there were lights every place. Was I wrong? What the fuck? I told you I told you lights were everywhere. Now I know where one is. That's good to know. Alright, so it did work this time. If it didn't, we would have got a warning that it did not work. So you ever had that problem? That's all you have to do is pretty much replace all the triggers. And now this should work. Okay. Well, a couple of them worked. It's because I misspelled it. Ah, fuck me. That's embarrassing. Alright, this should be fixed now. Save. Alright, let's see if this is fixed now. It should be. Okay, this should work now. I'm hoping it does anyways. Like I said, if you guys ever have these complications, just, go through it, you're not going to get it the first time. I'm not good at this at all. I just learned how to do this. So, it takes some practice. It really does. If you screw up, just go through what you did wrong. Don't, frustrate over it or anything. Just go through it, see what you did wrong, and see if it's fixable. And it should be fixable, but that is weird. That right there. Right there is weird. As you guys can see, it does work now. At least some of it does. I'm not gonna mess with this. I misspelled it. And that's why it's always changing. You just gotta, you just gotta make sure you're spelling right. That's so embarrassing. I am so sorry. But let's go ahead and move on here. I'm not gonna worry too much about that. Let's go ahead and move on to the lights. So this is another tunnel. Now this isn't as long, so we shouldn't have to worry about, well, it's kind of long. We don't have to worry about, places so many goddamn lights. We can just place maybe 4. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that real quickly, and I'll be right back. Alright guys, so I went ahead and placed a couple lights. I placed about 4 lights here. Now what I'm thinking is, I think what is really supposed to happen is you're supposed to name these lights first and then place the triggers. So that's what I'm gonna do now. I think I was doing it wrong, and that's why it was not working. So let's go ahead and take care of that now. So what do we want these colors to be? So I'm gonna go blue, blue/1, /2. You can name this whatever you want. This is just for, so I know what's going on. No. I believe. I forgot the. You can't have any spaces in this. Because I don't think you can have any spaces. I don't know. I'm just, making sure we're not going to run into any issues here. Alrighty, so it's time for the triggers. So it's nice that this coaster is here. We're able to freeze it just in time. So we know how long the coaster is. That's, very, very nice. I like that. That is really good to know. So, let's go and add our triggers, shall we? Now, do these colors, they're very touchy, to say the least. You gotta know what you're doing. I'm gonna go ahead and quickly place these triggers. Um, this may seem like a lot, but trust me, you're gonna know what I'm doing here in just a few seconds here. Really? God, I hate this. I absolutely hate when it does this. That's something you gotta deal with, unfortunately. I don't like it, This game, This game is like this, unfortunately. Ah, fucking son of a bitch! Ah, there we go. I'd have freaking, spam that freaking button to get this to work. Okay, where did it go? I don't know. I can't find it. That's bad. Okay, let's move this all the way over here. Where we're going to need this here. Oh, this is really tricky. You gotta, it's a little, like, little stupid if you ask me, but you gotta, time these just perfect, unfortunately. So that's why it's not exactly where I wanted to be. And delete that. That doesn't need to be there. What the fuck is this problem? God, I hate this. Okay, let's just do this. Might take a little bit more work, but oh well. I am so tired of this already. Ugh. This thing is a little bitch. Come on. This is ridiculous. Yes, it is necessary to have this many, but it's not one to cooperate with me today. Put one right here. I'll explain to you what we're doing with all this here. Just a couple of minutes here. Actually worked this time. That's nice. After 100 placeable triggers later, decides to want to work. I'm hoping this is like sort of making sense to you guys. That's what I'm hoping. Yes, there is. Yes, it is necessary to have this many. For those of you that knows what I'm doing, this will make sense to you. Alright, let me go through here real quick. Give me one sec here, guys. I know this is time consuming. And I know this may be kind of boring, but I want you guys to see what I'm doing here. So you guys know what's happening. One thing you gotta remember, the coaster is really fast. So, gotta like sort of time this, like kind of decently. Ah, fuck you. Come on. Now, these triggers, when the first car hits it, it enables or disables it. So that's why you have to space these out very decently. I think that's going to work right there. So, this is going to be confusing for a second here, but I'm going to try to have this make sense as much as possible. Alright, where's the first one? Alright. So here's the first one. So we go 1, 2, 1 off, 'So this is 3, 2 off, 'I don't know. So this is 1 on, 2 on, 1 off, 3 on, 2 off, 'Oh man, I'm trying to. This is confusing. I want to make sure I have enough triggers because it doesn't seem like I do. So that's 1 on, 2 on, 1 off, 3 on, 2 off, 4 on, 'So this is gonna be 3 off. I gotta do one more trigger. Four on. Alright, that should have worked. I'm not sure, but I believe that should have worked. Now I know that this may seem a lot, but let me go over this. So this is 1 on, which turns this light on. This This right here is 2 on, which turns that on. This is 1 off, which turns that one off. This one turns 3 on, which is that light right there. This one turns 2 off. This one turns 4 on. This one turns 3 off. And then we have 4 off here. So, sorry that's really confusing. It is confusing. If you're not sure what to do. But hopefully that makes sense and hopefully this works. So let's go ahead and save this real quick. And see if that worked. If it didn't, we'll get a warning saying there is no trigger. Okay, so no trigger for 4 found. Wrong way. You guys know this is a simple way to fix this, so just gonna do that real quickly. Trigger. Fade this out a little bit. Four. It may not be exact, but oh. There's a simple fix here. Not too bad. Four. Everything else should work. Almost closed the park there. That would not be good. Alright, everything should have worked now. Yep. If you ever have issues like that, all you have to do is replace the triggers. So let's go see our work now. And it's going to be way over here. Now, if you don't get out this time just perfectly, don't stress. You know, it does take quite a long time to do. A lot of figure out and playing. That's why it was so quiet. Is to try to figure out, you know, how this thing works and whatnot. You know, because it can take some time to do. Let me tell you. Especially if you're new at it. Like I'm a recruit at this. Not a recruit, but you know. Oh, not very good at this at all. So, if I made a mistake, I do apologize. As you guys can see, it worked perfectly. That was, you know, awesome, just amazing. So yeah, that is the lights in the strobe, the LEPR. Very, very nice model. Like I said, it's not very difficult. You just gotta know what you're doing. We will do the laser and the moving head in later episodes. We're already 60 minutes in this video, or like an hour. So, like I said, I could spend hours talking about this, and it just takes so long to do and everything. So I'm not going to do that. I'm going to go ahead and end it here. If you like the video, hit that like button, and if you're already, please subscribe. I'll see you guys later. Bye.